Hey, Jesse.
Hello, Lindsay.
My name is Human.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yes.
We're riding the wave right now.
The way we've been listening to some Sleep Token.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to Emergency for the first time today.
Isn't it good?
Oh, God, it's so good.
When I went to band practice, we skipped band practice and put together a puzzle.
Really?
And that's what we listened to the whole time.
That's perfect.
Drinking bourbon.
I'm so glad, Chris, if you're listening, you old curmudgeon. I'm so glad you're on the Sleep Token train, even though you didn't get your tickets. Or did he get the tickets? Because I know he had messaged me.
He was very upset.
Chris is the drummer for Jesse's band, Shadow the Earth. And even though they don't have a singer right now, they're still practicing pretty much every week, right?
Yeah, here and there. It's relaxed rehearsals.
Relaxed rehearsal. I love that, though. I love that you need that time with your bros. Yeah, putting together a puzzle, having a drink, listening to Sleep Token.
Building music is a puzzle too. So
it is.
But it was so fun. Targ, he was like, I don't know how to do this one, but I'll do it. It's okay.
Oh, I love Targ so much.
He was just like, he was on it. So we're like, all right, do the outside. And he was blowing up the outside.
Blow up the outside.
I know. He was
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost that time
It's
of year.
almost that time. R.I.P. Chester.
And Chris Cornell. That was my heart. Like, it hurt when Chester passed, but Chris Cornell, like, sobbing in my closet.
Linkin Park fans, tell me what you think. I'm digging the new singer now.
She's cool.
I'm digging it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she is caught up into her own.
Sorry, that beeping sound was our pot roast cooking.
Yeah,
Emily Armstrong is cool as shit, man.
She is. Miss Armstrong's getting strong.
Yes.
At the beginning now, I have to say, I don't think she was quite ready. But she blowed up, she showed up, and she's doing amazing now. And I agree. I'm on the Linkin Park train, and
she's fucking almost our age, man.
I am ready to see them at
only
Rockville.
A few years behind us.
Yeah, I think they're going to kill it at Rockville.
Probably.
Yeah.
Rockville.
Shinoda's just
Shinoda is always on point.
He is putting it together, and it's well. He's got it stacked, and it's not Chester, and it wasn't supposed to be, and I get it. So I'm happy and excited.
But what are you drinking today?
This pollen has been kind of kicking my ass.
It has been.
So I got a little bit of that Jack and honey.
Yes. Good.
And you turned me on to a Celsius that was in the fridge, and it's amazing.
What was it called? Sparkling sherbet.
So
I took a little sip, and I was like, yes.
It goes good together, we'll say. It's good, and I'm peppy. I'm peppy on this one.
Peppy.
And you finna slay me because I already know what we finna drink about. What are you drinking over there?
I'm having a Vista Bay Natural Lime. This is the Aldi brand seltzer. And it tastes like a very crispy Sprite.
Vista Bay.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Tastes like a crispy ass McDonald's ass Sprite. It's very good. I'm enjoying it.
I like it too.
Yes, you do.
I do. Mm-hmm. It's good.
And you know what?
Hit them up.
So in my last week's White Claw pack, they replaced the watermelon with the green apple. But now that we have tried the Vista Bay green apple, I actually like that one better.
The Vista Bay one?
The Vista Bay.
Better than
the White Claw green apple.
Than the WC?
Mm-hmm.
Than the WC?
Yeah. Vista Bay, y'all got it going on.
They do. They do.
Yes.
I like it. Aldi's got it going on.
Yeah, they do. We got an Aldi pot roast in the pressure cooker right now.
So yeah, we had to do some sound checking earlier, and I couldn't get that song out of my head. You know,
my name is Human.
Highly Suspect. We covered it too, and I think we do a good job at it. With the cello in the background too.
Yeah. So Targ that we mentioned earlier, he is the bassist / electric cello player, and he has been my favorites. Like when they were first trying him out for the band, and what did y'all reject him like 3 fucking times?
I mean, I really didn't so much. I know
you didn't, but
I didn't know the full vision, so I didn't push it real hard.
I told Jessie, I said, I will leave you if you do not.
She did.
Accept this electric cello player. I love the cello. It's my favorite instrument. But if you're not a fan of Game of Thrones, I mean, or if you are one, you will understand. I mean, it's cello music through the whole damn series.
Yeah, and
It's
he was
perfect.
rocking it when Game of Thrones was closing out the season. He was rocking that cello. We would open up with like the Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding.
Oh, and it went over really well.
It did.
We really rocked the house with that.
Yeah, like everybody would be in silence, like appreciative silence of this amazing cello playing, because it adds this extra oomph.
Then I'd come out with
to
that
the
open
show.
drop C.
Yeah.
The place would just fire up, dude. We had them in the palm of our hands. Florida was us.
Yes.
I loved it.
Nadira, come back, boo.
I know.
We'll get her. We'll get her.
You need to hit her up. She's going to tell my old singer to come back.
Yes. Nadira, boo, we love you.
Yeah.
And you're the best.
I offered for her to come to Spookalla with us.
Did you?
Yeah, this
And
weekend.
she came to you and Amanda's birthday
And to a show
celebration.
in Jackson, hung out with us. And she got on the mic. And even Kurt from Defy the Tyrant was like, Nadira from Shadow of the Earth.
And she was like, yes, that's my roots.
Yeah.
Like she owned it.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
Yeah. Awesome. Maybe she will come on. But I just wanted to say happy Wednesday. And we're going to kick this thing off because, Lindsay, we got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's get it bumping, y'all, on a Wednesday. You know, when she was singing Highly Suspect as a mic check earlier, this is Lindsay I'm talking about here.
That's
my
me.
Wonderful wife.
Hi.
I was looking at the little bars when I'm recording, and it was pitch perfect. Like it was a solid straight line across that blew me up. I was over here geeking.
He was like, holy shit. And I'm like, what? Because
Oh,
I'm
it's
just
pitch
fucking
perfect.
around.
It's pitch perfect. It was like the lines were perfect. You're like, my
That's awesome.
name is you, man. No, it was, I came down from the
stars.
That was almost perfect, too. I was watching it.
Hello, my name is Human.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't ask me what we're drinking about today.
I said I already knew, and I said I'm getting ready. And
well, I got to tell the audience.
okay, y'all come on. Gather round the fire.
So we're on part 2 of Myra Hindley and Ian Brady.
Yeah.
Most evil woman in UK and the most hated man.
What did I call it? Monsters of the Moors?
Yes. I like that. That
Yeah.
was a good title.
Monsters of the Moors.
Okay, sorry. That just
Play the rest of that riff. I don't play the rest. I almost kind of heard my mama try to talk it to me, try to tell me how to live.
that was exactly what
Are you
I
swearing
was like,
right
wait, yeah.
now? Don't you cuss at me in that kind of tone of voice. But they won't listen to me because my head is like a sieve.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so if you're new here, this is episode, what are we on? 24?
5. Yeah.
This is 25.
I think it's 25 alive.
Oh, shit. I don't know what episode. But anyways, so what we do is we have a drink and we talk about true crime. And at the end of the episode, we plug a band that we're digging and that we think you should listen to as well. And yeah, so
25, still alive.
what made you feel old this week? It is, okay, so this is episode 25.
Yeah, pollen made me feel old. No, I grabbed, so I work in parts and we deal with, we're road paving, heavy construction, all the cool stuff. So all our parts are pretty big. I just grab up a hydraulic motor, which was, the motor that makes the dump truck dump, It's called a dump pump. It's a big pump or whatever. Dump pump. Threw it on my shoulder. It's about 120 pounds. I felt that shit for like 3 days.
Oh, I bet.
Felt it for 3 damn days. Old as shit over here.
Ugh.
Next time I'm grabbing a dolly, a hand truck, some help.
Yeah, I would too.
Or I'll tell one of them youngins to grab it.
Yes, that's what you do.
That's what you do. That's what you do. Hey, pick that up, take it on out there. Anyhow, what made you feel old?
Well, I'm still dealing with the broken toe thing. And so I have 2 pair of work shoes. One is clogs that I wear with my wide leg jeans or flare jeans.
She looks so damn good in those.
And then I have a Vans like boat shoe, not boat shoe, like a loafer type work shoe that I wear with my skinny jeans. And for the last 2 weeks, I've only been able to wear flare jeans and my clogs because they didn't put pressure on the toe. So 2 days ago, I was like, all right, my toe's not throbbing anymore. I'm going to try I guess we'll just say
your regular work shoes?
My skinny jeans work shoes. And so they were fine. I worked, but because I have been putting less pressure on the foot the foot that has the broken toe. So that's my right foot. So I've been putting more pressure on my left foot and it was throbbing, the whole left foot by the end of the night, the last 2 days.
I'd have been walking around in circles.
Why? Because you got webbed feet?
Yeah, well, probably. I don't know. No, that's crazy though. I really am still feeling the pain a little bit now and again, like from when I broke my toe like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Why we got to break our toes together?
Yeah. Fucking hell. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get 40 or when you get in your 40s because we're past 40.
Yeah.
You possibly can break your toes because your balance is a little off.
And you're stumbling around. And plus, we probably had something to drink.
Yeah, because you were grilling.
Yeah.
And I had just got done with breakfast. So we had our Bloody Mary. And I was scooting the table back with the little bench seat and slam.
Boom.
Broken toe.
Whee.
Yeah. So you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
You ready for part two?
Fire. Fire on. Fire on.
All right. So Friday, we left off with Ian Brady and Myra Hindley giving a toast on New Year's to their second victim, John Kilbride. And unfortunately, they were not done.
I put them up on the website. I don't like the way they be looking.
No, they are fugly. Yeah.
Yeah, they ratchet.
So this time, before the killing, Ian got Myra the It's Over record by Roy Orbison.
You just played some of that, did you now? While I was taking a shower. Lindsay.
I did.
Michelle. You played.
It's awful. But I don't want to ruin Roy Orbison for anybody.
Don't Roy over me. Don't Roy over me.
But it's haunting now, isn't it?
It is.
Fuck.
That's why I got a tattoo of Roy Orbison on my butt.
All right, Coach Klein. So on June 16th, 1964, Myra went to pick up Ian. Dressed in her disguise, she now has a wig deal going on. She's got a little disguise. And because she's bleach blonde, so she gets a dark wig.
She's doing like the whole German spy thing, right?
Pretty much.
Did she have the picture?
She's dressing as, I forgot her name. I don't have my notes.
Yeah.
But as the what did we call her? What was her name? The Beautiful Beast.
Yeah, the Baron, right?
No, oh God.
What was it?
Where's my other notes? We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So they also got a new car. It was a station wagon. And they find a group of kids and saw one boy standing out alone. This boy's name was Keith Bennett. He had just turned 12. And he doesn't even look 12. Like, when I show you his picture, you're going to shit your pants. He still looked around 8, in my opinion, honestly.
These are the ones that get me, Lindsay.
I know. So Keith lived with his mother, Winnie, and his stepfather, Jimmy. And he was one of 6 kids, blended family. He also loved playing football, which, again, in the UK is soccer. He loved playing with bugs and collecting coins. The night that Keith disappeared, his mother took the kids to stay the night at their grandmother's house so she could go and play bingo. And on the way, Keith sees a group of his friends and asks if he could go play with them. And his mother's like, okay, just go back to Granny's when you're done. And that's definitely 60s. And I mean, also that's kind of now if you live in a nice little neighborhood where your kid knows everybody, knows all the kids.
Yeah, you got an event planned.
I mean, honestly,
you want your kid to turn up and have a good time with his granny, and you want to set it off the right way by letting him go and play, have a little freedom.
In 2025, if one of our grandmothers or one of Silas's grandmothers lived in this neighborhood and he saw a group of friends on the way, we would let him stop and play with them.
Yeah, 30 minutes and then go on. But,
right.
That's it.
But fortunately, we have cell phones and I can call Granny and be like, hey, does Silas show up in 30 minutes? Or,
But, Lindsay, there's a lot that can happen in 30 minutes.
I know.
You finna tell me, ain't you? Mm-hmm. And we're going to have to wrestle later.
So Myra and Ian drive by. They see Keith and they say, this is the one. Myra pulls up and asks him for some help loading boxes. Now, I want to say this really quick. I actually heard Elena from Morbid say this, and this is one of the best things that you could possibly ever tell your children. Adults don't need help.
Never.
From a child. Ever. They don't. Unless it is an old lady on a walker. I mean, still. I mean, that could be a ploy also. Like, I trust nobody after listening to true crime for thousands of hours over the last 5 years. Don't. Just say, no, thank you. I have to go home. Tell your kids that. Tell your kids to say, if an adult asks for help, say, I'm sorry, I have to go home. Or something along those lines. Don't let them do it. They don't need it. They don't need the help. A kid can't change a tire, and that's pretty much the only thing that I can think of an adult would need help with. And a kid can't do it. So
no.
Keith did hesitate, but decided to get in the car. And then they went through.
So they're not helping boxes right there.
No.
He's like, come to my house and help move boxes.
Pretty
Fuck
much.
that.
Yeah. Like I said, Keith decided to get in the car, and they drive, they go through the whole, will you help me find my glove at the moor? It's really important to me. They go through all that bullshit. Like I mentioned in
Getting
the
him
first
out
episode.
There.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
And Myra says that Ian was in the car, but Ian said he was not. He says he was on a different street and Myra then picked him up. Myra says when they got to the moors, Ian took off with Keith for about 40 minutes. And when Ian returned, he said that he had, trigger warning, raped and strangled Keith and took a picture before he buried him. Ian says that they all went together 3 miles. 3 fucking miles.
Does it really matter at this fucking time?
Your
alibi does not matter at this time. This is your third.
It'll be important later on.
Your third journey together. Either way, whether you did anything or not, it's your third journey together. You have no credibility.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, Ian says that they all went together 3 miles into the moors, and Keith kept telling him, I've got to go home. My grandmother's going to worry, and I've got to get back.
Right.
And Myra told him that he would go home soon. Ian says that he did the signal to attack, and this time it was whistling.
Roy Orbison?
No.
Oh.
When You Wish Upon a Star. I know.
What?
Fuck. That I will never. I'll never think of anything else when I hear that song. I mean,
what gets me is how sweet and innocent that they're playing right now to this little child, to the point to where they go and murder him. And they're just playing these cute little couple that's being all nice and sweet and at his level. That's so disgusting to me. It hurts. It's bad. The world actually does this. It's just indescribable. The how do humans do this? I don't understand at all.
Look at him.
And that's him?
I know.
Look how cute
I'm sorry.
he was.
I know.
God.
We'll post pictures of Keith on our Instagram page. But
he was adorable too.
Oh my God. He doesn't look 12, does he? At all.
He looks 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
And the perfect picture of Little Rascals type kid.
Yes.
So
yeah.
cute.
Oh, is it him and John John Kilbride, they would have fit right in with the whole Little Rascals gang.
Yeah,
like,
and that innocent, I bet.
Okay, I'm getting chills.
Ruined.
Ian says that Myra held him down through the rape and the strangulation, just as she had done with John, and then they buried him together, marking the grave with a large boulder. They cleaned up, buried Keith, and the shovels, and then they got rid of any evidence. Now, Keith's grandmother didn't have a phone, so she assumed that when Keith didn't show up, he had stayed with a friend or had already returned home. So she walks the rest of the kids home the next morning. That's what she did. Like, anytime the kids would stay the night, because they lived all in the same, close to each other, the kids would get up, grandma would walk them home, back to Winnie. So when she returns without Keith, the parents go into absolute panic, as any parent. Or as any parent would, and they call the police. Once again, door-to-door searches were done, and the grandmother, she took it upon herself to go to other towns looking for, and I mean, this was an older lady, and she had like ailments.
Somebody come get these sons of bitches, man.
Right. And I mean, and we're looking at it through hindsight because we know, but just imagine, nothing has been connected to Myra and Ian yet.
It's desperation, though. They're in the hunt. They're just like, everything's going through their head. Maybe he's just lost. Hopefully he's just right there somewhere.
Well, this is now the third missing kid from the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloodhounds were brought in. Bodies of water were they were drugged.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I wrote drained, but it wasn't drained, it was drugged.
Yeah.
And all of Keith's favorite hangouts, like the railroads, were searched and nothing. And that just made me think of that fucking movie you made me watch.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck was that movie
called? The
Doll
Maker.
Oh my God. I'm still getting you back.
You can't get me back from that.
I will get you back. I already have a movie in mind, and it will kill you, and I will laugh in your face.
Test the love of your husband.
The Doll Maker with, who was it? Farrah Fawcett? Not Farrah. Was it
significant other? Test the love of your significant other. Set them down. Make them watch The Doll Maker.
What's her name? Why can't I think of her name?
In The Doll Maker?
Yes. Why can't I think of her name? It's a Jane Fonda movie. And I sobbed uncontrollably.
We ugly cried.
And I will be getting you back. Just letting you know.
You're getting me back every time my ass is seated right here, Lindsay. These are Doll Maker moments, Lindsay. You're getting me back all the time, Lindsay.
Okay, you're right.
I need to get you back somehow, Lindsay. Ow, I bit my tongue when I said Lindsay. You are. I'm over here right now thinking of how horrible this poor little child didn't have a chance to grow up. Cute as hell. You're showing me pictures of him.
I know.
And I ain't even got buzzed yet.
Such a little, I want to pinch them little cheeks. Oh my God. Okay, so the siblings were absolutely hysterical. And Keith's mother, she was actually 7 months pregnant, and this would actually cause her to go into early labor. This whole horrible event.
I don't care. I'm drinking. I ain't listening to you.
Jimmy, Keith's stepfather, he was questioned as well as the previous, John Kilbride, his stepfather. And one random woman came up to Keith's mother and told her that Keith had been chopped up and fed to pigs.
And there we go. Now you've planted the seed. It's horrible enough as it is.
Right. That's why. And like I said, I've listened to thousands of hours of true crime, and there is just random people that do shit like that.
Why would you lie about that?
There's people that confess to something that they don't do, and what is your gain from that?
At all. There's nothing.
And now the families of all three kids that are now missing, Pauline Reed, John Kilbride, Keith Bennett, they all get together and are like, there has got to be a connection here. And they form like a full-on trauma bond, and they stay in constant contact. So in the next cooling off period, a 12-year-old named Patricia Hodges who lived 2 doors down from the flat that Myra shared with her gran. She starts hanging out with the sick, perverted, murderous couple, and she doesn't have a clue, okay? They would take Patricia on picnics at the moors and give her wine. She's 12 years old. But like I said, doing the research for this, what are you doing?
I bit my tongue. I was yelling at you. It hurts. It does.
I'm so sorry. I looked over and Jesse's like got his tongue sticking out and touching it oddly. And I'm like, what?
Well, it hurts. You got me fired up, Lindsay.
Okay, so she doesn't have a clue that how these people really are. And she's just hanging out with them. And they're feeding this girl wine. And they would take Patricia, like I said, they would take her on picnics at the moors. They were having a jolly good time. They had no idea. I posted pictures of the moors in our Instagram feed today. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Fucking beautiful. Like, I would want to go there too, all the time.
You know, and that's what threw me off whenever you were talking about the spots and things. There's the moors in Ireland too, which is the high cliffs. Mm-hmm. So it's just like...
Well, there's cliffs at the moors in England too that I don't think they're quite as high.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at the ones from Ireland to compare.
But I did Google search the moors in England as well.
So this is particularly
beautiful.
Saddleworth Moor where they're taking, where they're going. And it's huge. I think it was like 400 acres. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So they didn't hurt her, or so they say. But in true small town fashion, Ronnie Sinclair, who is Myra's ex that I mentioned in the first episode of this case.
He had targeted him.
Yes.
Or they had it at first.
And they literally planned to kill him. He's sitting at a bar and Ian walks in. Now, Ian knows who Ronnie is, but Ronnie doesn't know who Ian is. Because remember, Ian stalked him for a while. They literally planned to kill him.
Right. And she left him for him.
Right. For an obsession.
Yeah. It didn't even have anything to do with it at this point.
Ian sits down next to him and strikes up a conversation and starts talking about Myra. And then Ronnie is like, okay, so you're Myra's new guy. And then I don't know why I keep saying Aaron.
He had that power over him. He was like, I'm the one she left you for.
Then Ian brags about his career in robbing houses. Because Ian's still doing this as well.
He's into every damn thing, huh?
Yeah. Like he's working at Millward's, upstanding employee. He's robbing houses and now he's killing children. Yeah.
And raping and holding candlesticks.
Right.
Still.
Yeah.
Is he still holding candlesticks?
He's still doing the candlestick thing.
Oh.
And he tries to get Ronnie in on the whole robbing scheme. But Ronnie's like, nah, I'm good. I don't really want to do that. And then Ian shows Ronnie a photo of a young girl who is naked, bound, and gagged, and asked if Ronnie was into that kind of thing.
Yeah, because they wanted another couple to be part of their little clique.
But why the fuck would Ian go ask Ronnie? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But anyways,
maybe
Ronnie,
he figured at the very end of it though, he was going to get them anyhow because he had to tie all that back
True.
up. He wanted more help to be like the little gang. He was going to take them out at the end. That's what I'm thinking.
Ronnie is horrified.
Okay.
Like any normal human would be at a young girl who
pictures
is
somebody tied
gagged.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 12-year-old girl.
Hey, bro, is this cool to you? This little child?
Well, Ian says she's not hurt. She agreed to make these photos. And I've got some more if you want to look sees.
Oh, bullshit.
And then asked Ronnie if he knows any other girls that would want to take pictures of this nature.
Oh, bullshit.
And it's speculated that this was Patricia Hodges, the girl that they didn't hurt, supposedly. Myra would later say that there was an affectionate relationship with this girl, but it was respectful. I don't understand that. They were in their 20s at this point. I think Myra was 23 and Ian was a couple years older. So why are they hanging out with a 12-year-old girl? And where's the parents?
Right.
Where's the parents?
I would go running if I was a little 12-year-old girl. There ain't nothing cool like that at 12.
But at the same time, I mean, maybe they these are both very manipulative people.
Oh, disgusting.
And they just made her think that it was okay. I don't know. I wasn't there. And Patricia Hodges is not reported on very much.
Read my cup, Lindsay.
Under his eye.
Yeah. Goodness.
We're ready. I think that comes out April 8th.
Yeah,
I'm so
ready.
excited.
So
even
ready.
Even though it's the last season.
The end of it.
But I'm ready. We got a lot of ends this year.
It's all about awareness. And I think that show is kind of awareness to me.
So much awareness. This is the whole reason why I started watching it. Because someone in a Facebook thread somewhere said that Handmaid's Tale is the awareness, all the awareness that women need. And I just started watching it. And then I got you on it. And you got your coworkers on it.
Yeah.
I got two of my besties already watched it, but I got another one on it. And yeah.
We loves it.
Yes.
But this is the kind of shit that kids needed to know. Like,
but they didn't.
They didn't know. I mean,
the awareness
not
about
so much
this
as like
shit
just,
didn't start happening until the last 10 years, really.
Yeah.
15.
People are wide open. Eyes wide open now. And stuff like this, like what we're talking about. This is eyes wide open. If one person hears this motherfucker right here.
Yes. That's why we're doing this.
And gets something that doesn't conclude into some bullshit like this, that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Be aware of who your kids are hanging around.
Yeah. Informative historians over here.
Right. So on December 26th, 1964, which is Boxing Day, Ian and Myra are in the holiday spirit. And a little history on Boxing Day. Boxing Day is the day that the rich would give gifts to their servants or to the poor.
But now they still do it everywhere, like in Europe and stuff.
Well, and during
Boxing
this,
Day.
it was originated from that. And it's also known as St. Stephen's Day, the feast of the Christian martyr that was in the UK. And that made me think of that song, Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, which is a Christmas song. So
it is.
I'm guessing that's about Boxing Day. And like I said, in the UK, many people enjoy this day. They do sporting events, visit family and friends, and shop for post-Christmas bargains, which we also do that in America. But we don't recognize the day.
I think we should give back a little more here.
Yeah. We need to.
Yeah.
Let's just start doing that. Let's
Boxing
make that
Day will be a thing.
On the 26th, we'll go give.
At Genzy, Chesterton, Fieldville.
Yes.
We're gonna
give.
Yeah.
We're gonna give something away. Yes.
Yeah. At least something. Which we always give back. I mean, we always give, but
God,
still.
we've got so many children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
Christmas and birthdays. But we're gonna do something special from now on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
But on this Boxing Day, for Ian and Myra, it included their fourth murder. The record.
Fuck, Lindsay, now you just talked about something cool, and now you're going to talk about this on Boxing Day?
Well, it's a true crime podcast.
Fuck.
I got to keep reminding you of that.
Why do you keep hitting me with a shit stick over here, man?
So the record purchased for this murder was Girl Don't Come by Sandy Shaw.
Oh.
I played that song.
You played that one earlier.
I did. I said, remember these songs.
Why are you setting me up like this? I'm curdling. I'm not even puddling over here. I'm curdling. It's like a bubble of just disgust.
Oh, God. Hold on. This is the worst.
Go.
He's in fetal position, almost. He's over at the plant.
I'm not ready, dude.
So a 10-year-old little girl named Leslie Ann Downey was headed to the fair with some neighborhood friends. She was wearing a red dress with lace trim, a pink cardigan, and a blue coat, and little red shoes. She also had a string of pearls that she had gotten for Christmas. I think it was from her brother or uncle. I'm sorry, I did not write it down. I apologize. The neighborhood kid's mother, Mrs. Clark, she was supposed to chaperone, but she decided at the last minute not to go and sent the kids by themselves. Would you ever, in our day and time, would you ever send our child, even with a group of friends, as a 10-year-old to the fair by themselves?
I'm not looking at you right now. I'm trying not to look at you right now. Fuck no, I wouldn't send no damn kids by their damn self. Lindsay?
And she did not relay this to Leslie's mother.
And didn't even tell nobody?
Didn't even tell anybody.
I'm so pissed.
So the kids get to the fair, and it's not long after they're riding rides. They're buying probably popcorn and cotton candy and all the shit. They start running out of money and decide to go back home for tea time because that is a big thing in UK.
Yeah.
But Leslie said she wanted to stay and just look around, and they left her. So Myra and Ian are lurking about and decide to drop boxes near her and ask Leslie for her help. Where the fuck are they getting all these boxes? They had boxes with John Kilbride in the market. They say that they have boxes as they lure Keith Bennett in. And now they have boxes to drop around Leslie. What boxes do you have? Was everything put in a box in the 60s? Somebody let me know who lived in that era. Email me. Was it drinkaboutSomethingPod@gmail.com? I want to know why the fuck these monsters were able to lure these children in with boxes.
They some dicks.
And it was on Boxing Day. But anyways, they ask if she could help them load these boxes or unload these boxes, at their house. And then they would drive her home after. And this is a big deal to me. It's a sign of the times because kids were more susceptible to pleasing an adult.
Yeah, it's all about respect.
But at the same time, like our 11-year-old, he's kind of a little shit. But if a strange adult came up to him asking for help,
he's going to be nicer to them than he is to us.
Yeah. Yes.
Always. Why?
I don't know. We love him, but he's a handful. But he would honestly help some strangers out
with the utmost respect,
without a second guess before he would help us.
That's the mindset though of kids. I think just
pleasing. They're pleasing
at that age. That's them putting their best foot forward and trying to show respect to everybody else. But in the household, they are different. Yeah. Ugh. Fucking dicks in a box.
Well, Ian would say that Myra did all this part by herself, and then she came to pick up Ian later. Myra says that Ian was already with her. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. This time, they took Leslie to Myra's house while Gran was out visiting Myra's Uncle Jimmy. Because Myra lives with her Gran. It's not even her house, really. It's Gran's house. So this time, they decided to record everything. Leslie is heard screaming and crying and asking to see her mummy and asks, God help me. She even calls Ian and Myra mummy, like to, I don't know, grasp some kind of compassion inside of them that they did not have.
If you ever play this audio.
There isn't. It's not.
Okay.
I will go ahead and say, you can't find this. Thank
ever.
God.
But it was a thing.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes. So Ian and Myra are trying to gag Leslie while both are being mean and vicious and telling her over and over to shut up. And Ian threatens to cut her throat. Myra says, shut your mouth, hush, hush, or I'll forget myself and hit you one. Like, that is not released to the public, but that is on record, okay? The songs Jolly Old St. Nicholas and Little Drummer Boy.
Why you keep ruining these Christmas songs?
Are playing in the background.
Why you keep ruining them? You can't.
They undressed her, took photos, raped, and murdered her.
Lindsay.
Moment of silence for Leslie. Now, Myra, she takes herself out of the whole situation by saying that she was looking away. She looked away. And then she went to go run a bath.
Moment of Jack Daniels over here over this shit.
Ian says that she was actually running a bath to wash them off and to wash the body of any evidence of Leslie Ann Downey.
That's so disgusting. It's so horrible. It's so...
So Ian says Myra was the one to strangle Leslie with a cord and would keep this cord and play with it later on in remembrance around other people, around her family, and in pubs while they were out having a drink. She would just take this cord out and just play with it. Yeah.
Yeah, by now, they are completely infatuated with the thrill.
This is their fourth
their
victim.
Addiction, their horrible... You can't make people like this. Where do people like this exist?
And how do they find each other? Because this is not the first one that I'm going to talk about.
No.
The two people get together and do horrible, unspeakable things to people. Yeah. I just don't understand how they find each other.
Mm-mm.
They tried to bury Leslie that night, but the weather was terrible. They bring her back to Myra's and make sure that Gran didn't come home that night. And this is really dumb because Myra drove to Uncle Jimmy's and said, I can't bring Gran home tonight. The roads are too bad. But you drove there. And you're going to drive back. But the roads are too bad to take her with you. That's something I don't understand. And I looked and looked and looked for a reason why they would be like, okay, couldn't find one. And when she got back to her flat, Ian and her just went to bed while Leslie's naked body was in another room. Just went to sleep. Like it's whatever. The next day, they do go back to the moors to bury Leslie, and they bury her next to Pauline Reed. While Ian is digging this grave, Myra is in the car with Leslie's body, and a police officer pulls up and asks if she needs any help, if everything's okay. Myra says yes, and this officer just goes on about his day.
What?
Yeah. They bury Leslie naked with her clothes and pearls placed on top of her. Now, Leslie's family is in absolute panic. They're again searching house to house, and then police were called, and the fairgrounds were tore down trying to find this girl. Completely tore down. Waterways and canals were once again dragged. Leslie's stepfather, Alan West, this is the third stepfather in a row. It's like they almost knew, but they didn't. But it's just strange to me how all the past three kids all had stepkids or had stepdads. He was questioned and interrogated and probably humiliated and everything else. And everyone now is in absolute terror because 4 kids from the same area are now missing.
Yeah. With
no connections, nothing.
I'm thinking of the times, like dudes came back broken from World War II. Maybe broken broken.
World War II, that's Myra's dad.
Yeah.
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 So,
right.
I mean, I don't have a lot of background on these stepfathers, but 3 kids in a row are missing. And all of them have stepfathers. Now, Pauline, she did not have a stepfather. So Pauline did not have a stepfather, but John Kilbride, Keith Bennett, and Leslie Ann Downey, they all have stepdads, and they're all questioned. And I mean, I can just imagine what these poor guys have gone through because they all seem like very stand-up gentlemen as we go forward.
Yeah. Just some rough times probably through the period, maybe broken homes and things have just happened. And
yeah, because all of them were from
tough as it was,
So tough. And it's like, when I was younger, before I knew about all of this shit, I always wanted to grow up in the 60s and 70s. And now I'm like, now that I've listened to true crime podcasts.
No, fuck free love.
Fuck the 60s and 70s. And I mean, pretty much since the beginning of time. It's all horrible.
Every generation. You can really look back and there's been horrible. It really has.
Well, Ian and Myra, they have now murdered 4 kids in horrific manners, but they become a little restless, a little bored. They actually start discussing on how they could possibly start a race war or even maybe derailing a train just so they could watch everyone die.
So the shit ain't big enough for them now.
Right.
They want more mass chaos, murder, confusion, just crime.
But period. I want everyone to remember, we'll talk about it more in part 3. Myra will go on to say that she was manipulated and abused by Ian Ian into doing this. But she's discussing.
He had that half-assed Nazi shit going on to begin with, right? So,
but she went along with it.
She stayed along with it.
She read the books.
She stayed along with it.
She read the manual.
You're still there.
Yeah.
Hey, this is 4 now. There's no credibility on what you say. Exactly. It doesn't matter. If you were still in the presence of no credibility, you cannot debunk any of the bullshit. You're still there.
They're both monsters to the absolute core.
Monsters of the moors.
Monsters of the moors, correct. Now, I mentioned Maureen, Myra's sister. She had gotten married to David Smith, who I talked about in part 1, who Ian wanted both of them eventually to like join their little, to make a team. But they got married, and during all these events, and they had a little girl. They loved her. Her name was Angela. They loved her and like doted on her. They were like perfect, proud parents. But it's later reported that Myra and Ian, they didn't really give a shit about their baby. They did not act like a normal aunt and uncle. And Myra never even held this child. Never once. And Myra and Maureen were close. They were like best friends, sister best friends. At this point,
though, there's nothing else in the world but them and their addiction.
But I'm just saying, still though, that it had taken over her. That's what I'm saying. Remember that she just, later on just tries to pin all of this on Ian, but she herself had become Ian.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The same entity. They were the same living, breathing, evil ass
and they met each other, and it's fucking universe. Why? Why did you allow that to happen? Well, unfortunately, on April 24th, 1965, Angela passed away from bronchitis, and she was only 6 months old. Oh. And David and Maureen are devastated.
I bet.
To cope with the loss of their child, David and Maureen start hanging out with Myra and Ian more. They're going on couples outings like picnics at Saddleworth Moor.
Oh.
Who do you think suggested that shit?
Yeah, what a lovely spot.
Yeah. And one day, while having some drinks, Ian tries to recruit David into his robbery gig because David was having a hard time finding work. And Ian says that he can make great money by stealing from others. That's a great way to earn a living. And, to me, it seems like, I don't know, the Manchester area. But all of these kids, and all of them seem to live in a very small community.
A lot of European communities are small. You can do most of the whole town in walking distance.
Well, I'm just saying, why isn't Ian being caught for this robbery shit yet?
Well, he had his upstanding fucking position at work. Nobody was looking that way.
He must have been good at that. And I couldn't find anything to really elaborate on his robbery because this is what, he's really known for, right. Obviously. David, he's like, I'm not really down for that, respectfully. So then the conversation goes dark. And Ian asks David if he's capable of murder. He's not into robbing, but let's just see if he's into being a killer instead.
Let's set this on up. Let's see what the fuck you're about. What the hell, man?
And Ian tells David that he himself has committed murder. He says to David, I've killed 3 or 4, and they're buried at Saddleworth Moor. And you've sat on one of the graves. And for some reason, David just chalked this up to his brother-in-law being drunk and bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, once again, I'm going to say it. After listening to thousands of hours of true crime, if somebody is joking about murder, take it seriously. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
What did I say that one time? Tell 3 other people just because.
Just in case.
Just because. Yeah. Send it in a text message and shit too.
Record them.
Yeah.
We've got cell phones now. They didn't have them in the 60s. Yeah. But we can record them saying some shit. Keep it in a file.
I don't know if this is bullshit or whatever, but last night he said that he had murdered 3 people, and I just wanted to tell you. And now, if it's a thing, this is a thing. And love you, bye.
But for some reason, after this very fucked up conversation, David actually agrees to go robbing with Ian. I don't know. They must have been having really hard times.
Yeah, it was an intelligent tactic. It was very intelligent. He was like, okay, well, he's not going to do this, so let's push it up, and then we'll bring it back to that level. Very intelligent, and a lot of these people are.
Ian is very intelligent.
Yeah.
I hate to say that about him, but he is.
Perfectly manipulative.
Oof.
Yeah.
And Ian could tell that David was nervous about this, so he wanted to test him. So his idea was that he would just grab a random person with David, take him to the moor, and see if David would go through with murder. He tells David that they can practice a robbery by doing what he calls trigger warning. And this is a quote. This is not my words. This is Ian Brady's words. By rolling a queer. Which means that Ian would entice a gay man with the promise of intimacy and then take his money because it was illegal at this time to do any homosexual activity, and the robbery wouldn't get reported by the victim.
That time and age.
Yes. So on October 6th, 1965, Ian gets another record for Myra. It's All Over Now, Baby Blue by Bob Dylan.
Oh, you played that one earlier while I was in the shower, Lindsay.
I did.
I was washing my ass and you were playing that.
But it's a beautiful song.
Well, I hurried up because it was all over then.
It was. And this song would actually be ominous. So remember that. And I put in my notes, I listened to all of these songs, every single song that Ian gave a record about to Myra, and it's haunting to me now.
I like Bob Dylan.
I love Bob Dylan.
I love Roy Orbison.
We need to watch that biopic of him with Timothée Chalamet, who played Willy Wonka in the movie that we went to the theater and watched, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And we've watched it a couple times at home, too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
So Ian and Myra were at a liquor store to get wine the evening of October 6th. And Ian sees a 17-year-old boy, named Edward Evans. Edward was an apprentice engineer at AEI Electrical Works, all-around good kid, and he was one of 3 kids to his parents, Edith and John Edwards.
So now he's seeking out a challenge. He's feeling that powerful now.
On this night, Edward was dressed sharp, and he had plans to meet his friend Michael to go see Manchester United. That's the soccer team, right? Football.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So he planned to go see them play, but Michael at the last minute couldn't come, and he didn't show up because they didn't have cell phones. They couldn't be text like, I'm sorry, I can't make it. So he just kind of feels stood up at this point. So Ian approaches Edward and asks if he wanted to come home with him and have some drinks. And I'm sure there was some code exchange for basically saying, you want to hook up. Because they had to do that back then. So they get in the car, and Myra is in it, and Ian introduces her as his sister because didn't want to say, hey, this is my girlfriend.
Right.
So they go to Myra's where Gran lives, and Gran is home. Gran's home. He tells Myra to leave, go pick up David, but wait a while before returning because he indeed wants sexy time with Edward. So Myra walks to David's because it's in walking distance. And he walks to David and Maureen's, or she does, I'm sorry, hangs out for a little while, and then asks if David could walk her home because the street lights weren't on. So David grabs a walking stick and they head to Myra's. When they get there, they go into the living room where Edward is just chilling on the couch. Ian, out of nowhere, pulls out an axe and swung it down on Edward's head.
Oh, goodness. That was the only way he could take somebody 17.
And he swung it over and over 14 times.
God. Lindsay.
In front of David, who has never been around anything so vile and so horrific in his entire life. And Gran is upstairs in her room. Edward had been screaming the whole time. And there was 2 dogs barking their heads off. Gran is yelling from her room, what the fuck is going on? And after 14 blows, Ian still had to strangle Edward until he, quote unquote, stopped gurgling.
Oh my God. See, and I was hoping Graham would have been downstairs saying, "Would you like me to make some sandwiches?"
Oh my God. Gran, David, they just get brought into this shit. Gran is in her room, oblivious. And I mean, I know that there was TV in this time, but usually at this time, there was like one main TV in the living room.
Yeah.
So Gran's just laying in her room, hearing this boy scream.
Horror.
I don't understand. So there was blood, obviously. There was blood everywhere. 14 blows with an axe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on the walls, the floor, the carpet, the ceiling, everywhere. Ian then hands the axe to David so that his fingerprints would be on it as well.
Gotcha. Goodness.
Ian then lights a smoke and says, "This is the messiest murder I've ever committed." Ian says that Myra made a comment about the terror in Edward's eyes as he was being axed to death. Like she was...
Turned on about it.
I don't know about turned on, but she wasn't... She liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big target right
But
there.
of course, she'll take herself out of this one too later on.
Shit.
So they took Edward's clothes, shoes, and wallet and hid them in an upstairs bedroom.
What about Gran?
She's still upstairs, chilling, sleeping. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you make them some sandwiches?
No, Gran stays in her room. Oh. So they wrapped Edward in a sheet and took the string from David's walking stick and tied Edward in a fetal position, carried him upstairs to the spare room until they could bury him the next day. It took them 3 hours to clean up all the blood. And like I said, David is terrified. He helps them with everything and hangs out afterwards because he's now afraid that Ian would kill him.
Yeah.
If he didn't go along with it. I mean, I would...
He's got him drawn in now.
If I walked into my brother-in-law's house to watch him axe a man to death with 14 blows, I don't know. I probably would have just passed out from disgust, horror, everything. I don't know how I would react.
It wouldn't have been long. I would have been away enough to where it would all came out. It wouldn't have been long. I would have got the fuck away.
Well, they have some drinks, smoke some cigarettes, and discussed how to get rid of the body. Ian wanted to use David's deceased child's baby carriage to take the body out. And Ian or Myra, they wrote this whole plan out. And they put it in Ian's wallet. I'm going to guess it was Ian because he was the planner. He was meticulous.
Yeah, it was all his way or no way.
Right.
Yeah.
And David is still there in the witching hour and casually says, "Hey, I'm going to go home to Maureen and I'll come back later." And Ian and Myra were like, "Okay, see you later." And David walks normally down the street at first until he knew they couldn't see him anymore. Then he hauls ass as fast as he can until he got home. And that's where we're going to leave off.
No.
Yes.
No.
I mean, you're going to hear it here in a few minutes.
Dude's bucking out. No, you can't.
Cliffhanger. Part 3 is going to be out on Friday.
And you're just going to leave me like this.
I'm going to leave you hanging.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Okay.
How are you? You all right?
No, I didn't get a fucking sandwich. I'm hungry.
I would like some tea and sandwiches, please.
While we're
going to have some pot roast.
Fucking hacking somebody up downstairs. I was like, what if Granny just leans her head out the door? Would you like some sandwiches?
Poor Gran, man.
Dude.
She has no idea what's going on in the downstairs.
Clean that shit up and put a body in a baby carriage and...
That was the plan.
Oh. We're watching another movie like Doll Maker. I swear to God.
We're going to watch a movie about these fuckers when we're done. Sorry. Love you.
More on me. The Moors. The monsters. The Moors.
All right, y'all. So make sure you tune in on Friday for part 3. And now I'm going to let Jesse plug what band we're going to listen to this week.
Yeah, Lilith Rising.
Lilith Rising.
Yeah, out of South Carolina.
That sounds amazing because Lilith, she was the one we never read about in the Bible.
Yeah. So we're gonna plug and tag them. It's like goth kind of metal.
I love metal, and
I love goth metal and little operatic, little this, little that. I want you guys to check that stuff out, and I'm gonna play them right here. Y'all check it out. like it.
Yes, it's like a mixture of Natalie Merchant and Paula Cole, but just a little heavier.
Yes. Nice outro, too.
Very spooky.
Love it.
Carnival-y-ish.
Love it. Check them out if you're in the Carolina area.
Yeah, they're from North Carolina.
Really cool.
Very cool.
I think Greensboro, is that on the border of North and South Carolina?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. In the U.S. But
they're in the Carolinas.
Next episode, though, I have a band from Russia.
Shit, yeah.
They're cool. Ape on the Rocket, yeah. But Lilith, Rising. Awesome.
Yeah, musicianship
really
is
good.
perfect.
Yeah, keep on cracking them out. Good stuff. We're finding some cool
I was looking
bands
at their
out here.
picture and it reminded me of the Proclaimers.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of the guys in there.
Yeah, but she has a really cool, it's kind of operatic metal. Like, did I nail that right? It's really cool. Cool pocket. Cool stuff.
Absolutely. Lilith Rising. You guys fucking
rock.
But mellow.
Yeah.
You walk mellowly.
Good.
Is that a word?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So you've puddled me again, Lindsay. You have.
All right. So we've got one more part to get through where we will continue the saga and horrific story of Myra Hindley and Ian Brady.
Yeah. And we're going to have some pot roast.
We're going to have some pot roast and...
I'm going to make a sandwich.
You're going to make a sandwich?
No. I'm going to have pot roast. So we'll see you guys this Friday coming up. So
yes. So like us, follow us, drinkaboutSomething.site. We're on Instagram. We have a Gmail.
Yeah, all the subscribes,
YouTube.
the whole thing.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're not visual yet. We're just audio.
We're
Eventually.
doing some. We're doing some. We did a little vacay visual thing, remember?
Well, yes, that's true.
And we're going to do another little vacay visual thing.
Yeah, we're going to Spookala tomorrow.
Spookala Horror Con,
Yes.
the biggest horror con convention in Florida.
I know. I'm going to be in the biggest Halloween spirit
Where
in
we
April.
get to see Corey motherfucking Taylor.
Corey motherfucking Taylor. And he better sing Who Lives in a Pineapple Under the Sea.
Oh, the SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, he's going to sing.
No, I know. But yes, we love Corey Taylor. We've tried to find him, or we'll listen to him wherever he is. If
like
he's
our
acoustic.
ninth encounter of Corey
at
Taylor?
least. Yeah, because we've seen Slipknot, we've seen Stone Sour, we've seen Corey by himself.
We walked into a place where he was serving drinks one time.
Yes.
That was cool.
And we will get to see him tomorrow. Yes. We'll give y'all an update on how fantastic that is,
and whatever. Yeah.
Past, present.
So if you're coming,
present, and future.
Yeah. If you're around the Florida area, check out Spookala.
Yeah. It's really in fun. Tampa.
Go to some cons. Hang out with some movie stars.
Yes.
And some rock stars.
We got to see Walter Goggins, who plays fucking Uncle Baby Billy.
Yeah.
And what's his character on Fallout? I keep forgetting.
He's the ghoul.
The ghoul.
Yeah. And we've seen like Jay and Silent Bob, and
we've seen
everybody. We've seen so many cool people.
Oh God, we've seen Wendy Peppercorn and the boy that plays the boy that's in love with Wendy Peppercorn.
Yeah.
Squints. Yeah. We've
There's
seen Danny Trejo.
So many Scream
We've seen the
people.
entire cast of Scream. The male cast of Scream. Steve Orich, Matthew Lillard.
Everybody. So Horror Cons is where it's
Jamie
at.
Kennedy.
Come have
yes.
fun. Yeah, it's fun.
We've seen the cast of Stranger Things.
Yep.
God, yes. Go to the horror cons, man. If you want to meet some celebrities, that's where you do it.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
But we'll see you guys this Friday coming up.
Yes. We love you. Bye.